Okay, learners, we pick from where we stopped in our previous lesson. My name's Mansour Hirsi. In our last discussion, we discussed about theories that explains the opening and closing of stomata. We mentioned three theories that explain the opening and closing of stomata, which includes the photosynthetic theory, the potassium ion theory, and the starch sugar interconversion theory, that is also known as the pH theory. And we discussed the photosynthetic theory, how the theory explains the opening and closing of stomata. In this discussion, we explain how the remaining two theories explain the opening and closing of stomata. Okay, we begin with the potassium ion theory. Basically, we mentioned the opening and closing of stomata occurs in two different times. The stomata on the surface of the leaves normally open during the daytime, and we mentioned they close during the nighttime. Now, how does this theory, the potassium ion theory, explain the opening and closing of stomata? What happens is that during the daytime, there is this process of photosynthesis that normally occurs. And one of the product of photosynthesis, we mentioned one is a chemical energy known as adenosine triphosphate. That energy is used to move some ions, basically potassium ions, by using active transport. They are taken into the guard cells by active transport. So what happens, the intake, continuous intake of the potassium ions into the guard cells increases the concentration of the ions in the guard cells. And accumulation of potassium ions in the guard cells will increase the osmotic potential, also the osmotic pressure within the guard cells, which makes the guard cells to draw water from the neighboring epidermal cells by osmosis. And this happens due to increased osmotic pressure within the guard cells due to continuous intake of potassium ions into the guard cells, which again makes the guard cells to draw or to take water from the neighboring epidermal cells by process known as osmosis. So what happens? The continuous uptake of water will make the guard cells to increase their size. They become turgid, and when they increase in size, they tend to bulge outwards, and hence the opening of the stomata. This happens because the stomata, the tiny opening, is normally found between two guard cells since they are being shaped. So the increase in size due to continuous uptake of water, which again makes the cells to bulge outwards, hence the opening of the stomata. Again, during the nighttime, what happens is that the process of photosynthesis will not occur. And what happens, the potassium ions that were accumulated in the guard cells during the daytime will tend to move out of the the guard cells, and they tend to move to the neighboring cells, and that makes the osmotic pressure within the guard cells to lower. So what will happen? Once the osmotic pressure in the guard cells is lowered, the water within the guard cells will tend to move into the neighboring epidermal cells, making the guard cells to come closer to one another, hence closing of the stomata. Now that will mark the end of our today's lessons, and I will ask you to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.